Jumping in completely out of the blue, but I thought I'd do a basic rundown on what's going on with the Mx5 at the moment. So we've done a bunch since it came off the road about a month or two ago. Got all sorts of things in the works. Main thing is we've deleted that upper rad support and pushed those heat exchangers forward. Long-term goal is ducting up through here through the bonnet. We've basically cut away anything we don't need on the front end. I'm keeping these because it's a convenient way to mount everything up without having to reproduce all that. But I am going to do a small, thin tube structure from there down to here with bonnet pins and stuff. But we've deleted the pop-ups. We're just going sort of full race car at this point. The basic rundown is it's a BPO5. It's pretty much bone standard at the moment. Nothing fancy going on at all, but it's got sort of a bunch of bolt-ons and stuff. Master Power R444 turbo. We've got a custom little catch can at the back there. I've got this big intake that we're currently fabricating. Got this interesting sort of intercooler radiator setup. And we're in the middle of doing a swirl pot. Definitely not a fabricator by any means. I've only been welding for a couple of months, but I'm pretty happy with that. I've also made this master cylinder brace, which I'm pretty happy with, as it makes a big difference. Brake boost is going to be coming out very soon. I'm going to delete that. And yeah, we're in the middle of a coolant reroute, so that's going to go around to the back of the head, like it should have done from factory, but you know, is what it is. So we'll get better cooling and yeah, just sort of going full race car. First thing on the list for today, we've got a bunch of these cost-effective intercooler clamps, which actually, to be fair, seem to be pretty decent. They're actually not that different from the really big ticket items, so we'll see how they go. I've heard good things about them. But to do this, we need to weld one on the throttle body, but we need to delete this bottom portion so we can physically get in there and weld it out. So that means the idle air control valve has to go, but that is not really going to be an issue to us, hopefully, because race car. So first port of call will be masking up everywhere we don't want stuff and lock that part off. So that bottom part is now gone, which means, where are we? You can chuck one of these straight on there. We've got it welded up. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's on there solid. It actually welded a lot nicer than I thought it would. I thought either the cast was going to be a problem or this sort of cheap Chinese aluminium would just melt away, but it actually worked out really well. The reason that weld's sitting so proud is because I left the little lip on the throttle body just to give it a bit more meat. I was expecting either side, to be honest, to melt back, but yeah, they behave themselves. As happens with these things, the underside's actually better looking than the top, but that's just the way it is. It's going to get painted anyway, so it's probably going to be pretty unnoticeable. Now we can work on this pipe work to the intercooler. Sort of mocked up. It's actually quite interesting how good China are getting at knocking stuff off. I couldn't fault this. This is doing exactly what it's supposed to. Hasn't got the O-rings in, that's why it's so floppy. But the idea is you get a bit of movement, so it's not like having a solid V-band where it's got no flex or no compliance. You can actually spin that round Obviously it'll be stiffer with the O-rings on there. But yeah, it allows you to have a nice solid pipe while still retaining that movement. Right, so I think that's going to be the last thing for the day. We're running a bit low on gas, so I don't want to run out halfway through a weld. We've got that tacked up. You can see how this is going to go. There's that nice bit of movement. I've got a cast elbow I'm going to weld on there because these are cast end tanks. So I'm going to lop that back and have a cast elbow there and have another one of these clamps about there. So it'll have a nice bit of movement. It can move with the engine side to side. To give a slightly better rundown of what's actually going on here. So I've had this road legal for about 4 years coming up now. And it just got time where I wanted to do more sort of exciting, fun things with it. And the only way to sort of do that without spending absolute shitloads of money is take it off the road, and you can pretty much have free rein to do whatever you want. I've done a lot to it really over the years. This is my sort of fairly recent addition. K series coil packs. So if anyone wants this kit, this is all just made in my garage here, but yeah, it's a full K20 coil and plug solution. It works a hell of a lot better than the stock coils. I was running the Fab 9 kit before then, but to be honest it was complete trash, and Fab 9's customer service is absolute shit. So I decided to make my own setup, far more reliable, and K-series are everywhere these days, so if I ever do have an issue it's super easy to get replacement coils. Other than that, it's your usual sort of turbo setup. People always ask about this side-by-side intercooler radiator setup, and people are quite skeptical about its cooling abilities, but really it's been absolutely immaculate. The hottest temperature I've ever seen was like 101, and that was in the hottest day of the year last year, traffic. Hadn't done a coolant flush in a while. The whole thing behind it is just you're not stacking heat exchangers and losing efficiency on them. Yes, you've got smaller surface area, but they're getting the full benefit of cold air. Other things, I've got this shaved intake manifold, which a friend helped me out with. It's just got all the ports deleted and runs a single line off the back to this vacuum manifold. So you just get slightly more accurate and consistent vacuum readings on all your sort of different accessories and whatnot. We've welded up, it's probably hard to see, welded up a neck at the back to do a coolant reroute. There's going to be an inline thermostat housing here. It's just a hell of a lot easier than mucking around back there with the usual spacer design. And you've only got one point that can leak there on that gasket, and not a whole stack of them. I've got this swirl pot that I've made. It's definitely not well porn, so don't look too hard. But it should do the trick. It's I pressure tested it, it's all good. And it's just going to get a bit of the aeration out of the system. And I'm going to have a few high points feeding up into a header tank, either up there or maybe in the cowl, just to get all the sort of air out of the system and keep it cooling well. Little block off plate at the front there, where that old neck used to come out. Might put a bleed port on there just because that could be potential cooling issue. That could be a spot where it could get an airlock. And then the rest of the cooling system just goes down into the normal factory water pump and back through, but it should improve cooling quite a bit by having that proper route through the engine and back around. The area is pretty Spartan. It's pretty simple and race orientated. Got these door cards that I made, but a lot of stuff will be changing in here soon. Little half cage Sparco Sprint, just the usual. Another little piece I've made is this master cylinder brace. You can buy these, but I thought, shit, I may as well have a crack at making it, because I had this nice circular bit of 5mm steel. Just a little angle on there, captive nut welded on it. And it just braces against there. It's actually really effective. You probably get about 5+ millimeters of deflection on the firewall when you're hard on the brakes. So there's a little piece that goes in between there that just presses against it and stops it going crazy and flexing everywhere. The brake booster is going to be deleted very soon. I'm going to make up a nice thick steel plate to go against the firewall. move this all back, custom push rod, all that sort of stuff, and also alter the clevis and setup and all that inside the car, just to give proper leverage, so it's not a complete dog to drive. So that's sort of a general rundown of what's going on with the car. Going to make a few more of these videos in the future, just as I do little bits and pieces. So let me know if there's anything you want to see. Feel free to ask questions, and if you're interested, please subscribe. Cheers.